What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. Now, admittedly, there's already been a ton of headlines this week, some of which we've covered at the channel regarding Robert Downey Jr.'s supposed return to the MCU and reprisal of his role as Iron Man. And we did a video yesterday, I'll make sure to link at the end of this, that included a screenshot, what very well may be a first look seemingly confirming Robert Downey Jr.'s return from Marvel's Disney Plus What If series, but doing a voiceover for an animated series is a far cry from returning in the flesh, but not so fast. This morning's headline, Robert Downey Jr. will be back, and sooner than you think, in a cameo in Spider-Man 3 and as an AI. We're going to break down this story. We traced it to its source. That's why we're going to cover it with just a tad of skepticism, but given the other headlines this week, there's a ton of logic behind this, and we're going to break that down as well. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel-related stuff, including a limited edition Infinity Saga box set. All you have to do, grab the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Also, one of my best friends in the entire world, Sean, just started his own drawing channel, Draw Every Day. He's contributed a couple of pieces of art here at the channel, including that amazing Thanos Buster last year, and he actually just did a concept video for Simu Liu's Shang-Chi costume today. If you could follow over to his channel, I'm going to include a couple of links like down in the comments and description. If you could throw him a sub, throw him a like, you guys know that stuff goes a long way when you're a brand new channel, and I would sincerely appreciate it if the Everything Always family would show him some love. Now, as I mentioned in the prologue, so many stories this week about Robert Downey Jr.'s return to the MCU, and that screenshot yesterday that clearly shows Iron Man's armor with Sakaar war paint after Jeff Goldblum not so skillfully all but leaked that he'd be back to do the voiceover seemingly confirms that indeed he would be. And my logic yesterday at the end of the video was this: of course they didn't come out and say he was reprising his role to do the voiceovers for What If. He just sacrificed himself on the big screen. That would have felt cheap in and of itself, but he has to. How are they going to do Iron Man 1, 2, or 3 in a What If episode, Civil War, or any of the Avengers movies without Iron Man? And if Iron Man is in the animated series, no one else will be voicing him but Robert Downey Jr. That aside, today's headline is quite different, that he would in fact be back in a cameo for Spider-Man 3 and in the form of an AI. Now, in another video I'll link at the end of this, and what seemingly kicked off this week of Robert Downey Jr. return headlines was the story that he had agreed to come back for a Disney Plus Ironheart series, something that had been rumored to be in pre-production in the latter part of 2019, something that Robert Downey Jr. himself tweeted in support of, and in the comics, that's exactly how it went down. He was a mentor for her in the form of an AI in the same way that he had Jarvis or Friday, and it would make sense if they were going to do this to first introduce that mentor program, that AI, during Spider-Man 3 for Peter Parker, as a lot of people would immediately question why Peter Parker didn't come into contact with this. Now, of course, that begs the question why it wasn't included with Edith, or why it wasn't made readily available to Peter Parker upon Tony Stark's death. Certainly someone as smart as him would have planned for something like that. We'll get to that in a moment, as well as the problematic nature of him showing up as an AI at any point and in any form. But really, my skepticism with the story as a whole comes from the source itself. While it's said to come from the same source that leaked that there would be a She-Hulk Disney Plus series and that Guardians of the Galaxy would cameo in some form in Thor: Love and Thunder, which of course both of those have now been confirmed, the original trade for which all of these headlines are being re-reported doesn't have the greatest track record. That's why I'm skeptical and remind you guys to take this one with a grain of salt. And then you get back to the problems of permanence, which I've mentioned in several videos this week. Once he's an AI in the MCU, why would you always not just use him? Once he becomes an AI for Peter Parker, why would he always not just consult that AI? It's different than having a pre-recorded message, and that's where I want to sort of touch on the difference between those two quickly. A pre-recorded message, something like we saw at the end of Avengers Endgame, is not an artificial intelligence for Tony Stark. Now, a lot of you will remember that in Endgame, in the scene between Tony and his father when they go back in time to the 70s, that they made sure to mention Dr. Zola by name, a precursor and prerequisite for an artificial intelligence already set up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in my original Avengers Endgame Easter egg video that's nearing 1 million views, I made sure to point that out. I said, wouldn't it be interesting if in a scene between Tony and his father, they mentioned Dr. Zola to make sure to remind us that they indeed already set up a prerequisite for artificial intelligence in the MCU. And a lot of people held that theory over to the pre-recorded message for his daughter. Again, as I've mentioned in many videos this week, as he was able to stride across the room, know exactly where his daughter Morgan was sitting, look at her and say, "I love you 3000. But of course, that just worked better for the narrative at the time. There's a difference between a pre-recorded message and a free-thinking AI. And I'm wondering if there haven't been some wires crossed here, pun totally intended, as far as the reporting of this story and whether or not Tony Stark will come back as a free-thinking AI or just a pre-recorded message for Spider-Man when he finds it, something akin to what happened in Iron Man 2 when Tony Stark finds the old reels of his dad. That would be way more palatable, it would be way better as a callback, and it would avoid the problem of permanence, because once you have him, why would Peter Parker not just always want to have his AI readily available to consult? And then you've got to pay Robert Downey Jr. insane amounts of money just to come do his quick cameos and for every Spider-Man movie that comes after this, because again, Peter Parker plus Tony Stark is always going to be stronger solving a problem than just Peter Parker alone. Also, remember from the comics, Peter Parker is genuinely a genius. He's a super smart character, something I don't think they've played up too much in the MCU. We got a small glimpse of that at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home when he was creating his own suit in the image of Tony on the plane. And that can't grow, that can't mature and unfurl the way it should if he's always got Tony Stark there. That's why a pre-recorded message avoids the obstacle of permanence and could give you that sort of callback and get you ready for him to show up in sort of a training tutorial mode during the Ironheart TV show. Now that's its own can of worms when that comes, and if that's truly an AI, it will still beg the question as to why that AI wasn't available for Peter Parker. We all know how Tony Stark felt about him and surely would have wanted to leave him access to that. And that leads me to my final thought as it comes to all these reports of Robert Downey Jr. coming back, his involvement with Spider-Man 3, and the possibility of an Ironheart series, any sort of pre-recorded messages or AI. And one of the last reports in a quote from Robert Downey Jr. himself, who said that he'd love to be involved again, but it would also have to include Pepper Potts, and that's a specific reason. Because think about this, and I made this logical point in the very first video we did as far as Ironheart. How could he come back as an AI and not be there for his family? I made that point and saw some people in the comments say, well, that would just be creepy. It wouldn't allow his family to move on if he always was just an AI hologram walking around the house. But certainly you wouldn't want to lose access to your father, and if he was there in the form of an AI, he would want to be there for his family. Creepy or not, if he's going to be there to mentor these other kids and superheroes, he's going to be there for his own child in Morgan Stark and also his wife Pepper Potts as well. And it may be that when he brought that quote up saying, hey, if I'm coming back as an AI, that wouldn't make sense. You have to bring Pepper Potts back too. That's exactly what he was talking about. Just an interesting quote given all these headlines. And guys, if there's another Robert Downey Jr. story this week, I promise I'm not covering it. I'm a little Robert Downey Jr. coming back out. Let me know what you think in the comments about all of this. We've definitely done at least 4 10-minute exposés on this story. It's been chronicled well this week. Let me know all your thoughts down below. And quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, the next of which is at the 650,000 subscriber mark. All you have to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and that'll automatically enter you to win all the rest of the prizes here at the channel, like the limited edition Infinity Saga box set. We gave the first one away on New Year's Eve. We'll be giving the second one away on the 2nd anniversary of the channel. Again, all you have to do to be entered to win either of the PlayStations, the limited edition Infinity Saga box set, or any of the other prizes we give away here at the channel as we double down, hopefully all the way up to 1 million over the next couple of years. We always give away tickets and DVDs to all the MCU movies, all the MCU adjacent Sony films, as well as a ton of other stuff. All the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the notification bell, leave a like and a comment on this video, and because it's truly random, the more videos you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, and if you've missed any of those past winners, especially here real recently, as we've given away something like 5 or 6 PlayStation 4 Pros in the last 2 or 3 months alone, no worries. All you have to do is scroll back through the channel, look for the winner announcement in the sub count in the title, click on that, scroll to the end. Also, again, and if you could, follow the link down in the comments in the description over to my buddy's new channel, Draw Every Day. Throw him a subscribe. I would sincerely appreciate it. And again, when you're a brand new channel, each and every one of you who do that will really be supporting him. And in a way, since he's my best friend, you're really supporting me, and I would sincerely appreciate it. Guys, please stay safe out there. Thanks for checking out the channel and stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.